Okay, everyone, welcome back to the freaking program today. We're out here in the Arctic abyss known as Utah in December, apparently. Does this look cool?
Well, I just figured you might get cold. I don't want my buddy getting cold.
I was actually doing okay, but if you want to dress me like my mother, then yeah, knock yourself out there.
You call me daddy often, so.
Daddy. That's a story for a different time and place. So we're talking about the Primary Arms pistol red dots today. Actually, specifically the classic series. So this is a new thing that they've had out for, you know what? I'm getting rid of this stupid ass hood. This is relatively new. These are new to the market. We're going to be talking about it. It'll be a relatively quick video today, but we're going to get into it. There's some pros, there's some cons, not to be mixed with Acon, which apparently Chris in another video did not understand what the term con means. Due to the Acon, right? Due to the shape, it's not going to be as rigid as an enclosed emitter.
What did you call it?
What?
A con?
A con, yeah.
What's that?
Because English difficult, you know. That said, Peace of Mind Guns, thanks for sponsoring the video today.
Yeah.
You guys should definitely go check them out. There's a code that you guys can plug in. It is New Year 1911. That code is good for the entire month of January to get you 5% off. The code will expire after that. Will we have another one? Don't know. Depends if we get shit canned before then. You know?
He's like, you are fired.
But like they carry great gear. Actually, Nighthawk, LMT, Noveski, BNT, HK. You go down the list. Like there's a lot of really good stuff that they carry. A lot of it is in stock, which is hell, to get a good discount on something that's in stock that's already very hard to find is this is generous. This is a generous man.
He does a great job of keeping all that Gucci stuff in stock, man.
Yeah, it's actually pretty impressive. So anyway, let's get into this. So relationship with Primary Arms. We do have a relationship with Primary Arms.
Yeah.
It happened organically because we did like 1 or 2 videos on their optics, and eventually they saw it and they're just like, hey, you know, we're happy to send you guys stuff to review sometime. So they sent out a couple of these new pistol dots that they have, and this is your review on them. Doesn't really skew. I try to bit by bit always get better at like, hey, regardless of where the product came from, how we got it, what the relationship is, like give people a fair shake at home, because I do believe that some of you make some purchasing decisions at least partially based on what we say, and I think that it's always fair that you get an honest opinion regardless of how we feel about a company. I will also tell you this is not a high round count review. This actually kind of got thrown in last minute because we had a gun that did not have a good first couple weeks here in the review process, and so I had to scrap that and get something else worked in. That'll be a story for a different day, and that's why. So anyway, there's I don't know, probably 300 rounds on this dot. Not a lot, right? So full disclosure on that. So let's get into it. This is the classic series, 24 millimeter mini reflex sight. I'm telling you that in case you need to go find it on their site. And actually, I guess one other thing on that, we will have a link to primarysports.com down below that if you guys are going to order any of this stuff, that would be great if you use that link, just because to be perfectly honest with you, hey, we do make a little money if you guys use that link. I'm not telling you to buy this. I'm just saying if you're going to regardless, hey, that is a route to do it, that it does support the channel.
Throw the homies a couple bucks, right? If you're going to do it anyways.
Does support the channel. So anyway, regardless, it's a $150 pistol red dot, and that is very, very inexpensive.
Very inexpensive.
Very, very inexpensive. Yep. And in my opinion, it's important to judge that based on what it is versus what it is not.
Sure,
it is
what
not,
you get, what you don't.
It is not a $600 RMR.
No.
It's not a $350 hollow sun.
No.
It's a $150 Primary Arms red dot.
There we go.
Judge it as so.
Video done.
Yeah, right. And we'll see you next time. So it's a very entry price point red dot. Now there are going to be some pros and then some cons. I think overall impression is decent. There's some things that I would like to see. There's a couple things that I do think should be addressed. So it's an RMR footprint. They have another one that is the Shield RMSC footprint. Okay. For like a little micro kind of carry gun kind of thing. But this is an RMR footprint. This is just for anyone at home wondering. This is on my. So this has actually been my carry well, it's my carry gun, but it's also been my carry red dot for the past about 2 to 3 weeks at this point. So this is on the red dot plate that's part of the interchangeable optic system from Nighthawk.
Yep.
Just in case you're like, what's going on here? That's what's going on. So I have been carrying this every day, and I've noticed a couple nuanced points where I'm glad I have been carrying it because there's a couple things that I've noticed. So it's a 3 MOA dot, which is
That's a 3 MOA dot?
Yeah, it's 3 MOA dot.
That's a very clean, crisp 3 MOA dot.
Yeah,
I will say
three's
that.
not big or small. It's in that mid-ground sweet spot.
Does both things well.
Yeah, it does a little bit of refinement and a little bit of speed, and it does both adequately. There's 10 brightness settings, and this would probably be kind of my first ding on the optic. One, there's no night vision settings, and let me tell you how much I care about that on this optic.
0.
Here's why. How much shit, what is the cost of all the shit that's on my head if I'm wearing night vision and lasers?
Minimum 5,000, maximum 60,000.
Right. So if I'm wearing, let's call it $5,000 to $10,000 worth of gear on my head to see in darkness, I probably don't have a $150 pistol red dot.
And the guys that I'm fortunate to work with, right, that you work with, right, we get to work with some cool guys, just would leave, they wouldn't even use night vision settings. They're like, because I want to be able to see it if my nods break. So they'd go to the lowest daytime setting and run it both ways.
Okay, fair enough.
So there's even a point that you could say night vision is not needed.
Okay, fair enough. Right, so point being, it's like there's no night vision settings and people are like, oh, bummer. Is it though? Like, for me, no big deal in this. Not a big deal at all. But so 41-hour battery life, that's on the medium setting. So what does a medium setting get you? Nothing. A medium setting accomplishes nothing. If you were inside a home or in low light conditions, a medium setting, which would be roughly 5 to 6 on the 10 levels there, might be adequate. If you're carrying this or using this in daytime, you're gonna have to crank it all the way up to 10. Now the conditions today, I was actually very glad that we had, because unfortunately for the last couple weeks here in Utah, it's been super gloomy and cloudy and everything, so I really haven't had many bright days. And I've been kind of wondering, how does this do in bright daylight?
Sure.
Well, today it's been weird because it's been foggy, like we're all about to get murdered by werewolves, but then it's super bright and it's snow. So today's a good day to see how bright is this on setting 10. And in my opinion, we need another setting.
So I like to run my dots a little brighter anyways.
Same, yeah.
You know, I always, when guys pick up the rifle, I'm like, whoa, that dot's pretty bright. I like them a little brighter. It's just, maybe it's my eyes, my astigmatism does better with it.
Yeah.
It could be argued, someone's gonna say it should do worse. Either way, I like my dots brighter.
Yeah.
I agree, it needs some brighter setting.
Yeah, we need a brighter setting. On level 10 out here today, it is, I would say, barely adequate.
Yeah,
like,
I'd need
quickly, no. At speed, no. This is gonna be inadequate.
Yeah, I'd need at least 1, if not 3 more.
Yeah, 3 would be insane, but I'm with you. One more I think would get the job done. 2 more would be great just to have some options. But we compared it next to a Holosun 509. And the Holosun at full power was brighter, and then an Aimpoint Acro that was actually significantly brighter. So yes, this is not as bright as I would like to see. It would be my first con on the dot. The window size is actually excellent. So 24 by 17 millimeter window. Just to put that in perspective, a Holosun 507 is 23 by 16. So this is marginally bigger window than a Holosun 507. And then an RMR is 22 by 16. So again, this is a little bit bigger than a RMR. So it's actually a good size window.
This reminds me of a Delta Point Pro.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Pulled.
Yeah, I think it's fair.
Yep.
Yeah, I think it's fair. I didn't pull the stats on that because I don't like Delta Point Pros. It is 6061 aluminum housing, okay? Now, let me tell you about 6061, okay? I typed in on Google. It's a website. You guys can go to it's google.com, right? And you can Google almost anything you want. You can Google it.
You can literally Google anything.
Yeah. And so I Googled, well, because I was curious, like, hey, on a budget red dot, I would assume they probably used an aluminum that's not as good as aluminum can get. And that is correct, sir. So, so 6061 is not as strong as 7075 T6 aluminum, which is what you would find in a Holosun 507 or an RMR.
Okay.
So, again, this is trade-offs, right? Hey, if you want an entry-level price point optic, hey, you're gonna have to make some sacrifices. Part of that could be the material cost.
Sure.
Now, again, does it matter? In my opinion, it does not. Why do I say that? Because if I'm like, I'm going into battle and my duty use thing and everything, it's like, cool, well, spend the money on the duty use optic. I think of this as a entry-level price point dot.
Yeah, I mean,
and judge it as so.
Yes, to your point, exactly, if I can expound on that a little bit. 2 days ago, we released our wide red dots, or like red dots versus iron video with Mike Pannone,
yes.
right? Which that is a giant dumpster fire and probably still is to this day as this video gets released. But some people talk about price of entry to get red dots on guns. Well, like if you want to learn and truly learn, put the time, the effort, the training, the dry fire, etc., to learn a dot, I think this is where that would shine.
Yes, and
like,
I agree.
Put it on a gun, learn how to run it, learn how to present, and then as you get better with your skills, much like we all do in all other aspects of firearms ownership, you upgrade over time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah, and we've got more to cover, but I'm going to tell you that is one of my biggest points that, it is, hey, who is this for? I think there is a very relevant place for this, not really as a duty optic because of a couple of things. One, the brightness, one, another thing that I'll point out. But so to me, no, it's not what I'm going to use for duty or like my go to war, whatever thing. Yeah. But it's like, hey, I'm thinking about getting into red dot. Like, I'm interested in this pistol red dot thing. Like, what's a place that I can get started that's not too aggressive on the price point? Fantastic place to start.
There. I agree.
Know what you're getting, right? And you can upgrade over time.
I agree.
Right? I think that is a great place to get started.
Yep.
So it is a 2032 battery. It's bottom loading. So AKA, hey, when your battery dies, you're going to take your optic off in order to swap the battery. Then put the optic on, AKA reconfirm your 0.
Which if middle is 41 hours, 10 it'd be like 11 minutes. You got to do that?
What?
You didn't listen?
I tuned. So I came in midway into that. And I heard something that didn't make sense to me.
Just keep going.
Okay, yeah. So anyway, you gotta reconfirm 0 once you put the optic back on. Not a huge deal there. 1 MOA clicks, and this would be, I guess one of the other cons is, well, they're really not clicks. You just turn until you eventually get the right 0.
Okay. It's not definitive teeth in there.
No, it's not like...
Okay.
Where you can feel it or hear it. It's just like you kind of rotate to some guesstimate of what you think would be the proper adjustment, then confirm it, readjust. And so it's like, you will get there. You'll get a clean 0. Like, it's not an issue to 0 it.
And it's held 0?
Truthfully, I didn't reconfirm 0 today, so I can't honestly say.
It seemed on when I was shooting it.
There was no blatant inaccuracy problem out there, so I assume it's holding 0. It's certainly not wobbling on the plate or anything like that, so that's good. Does come with a lifetime warranty, so we got that. Guys, we'll be back to the red dot momentarily, but if you're looking for ways to support the channel, one, we'd freaking love that. Patreon would be a great way that you can do it, which is a fantastic way to do it. There's a bunch of different tiers. You can get started there as low as $3.80. It goes up to $19.11. You get different perks at different tiers, ranging from patches and giveaways and custom Zippos and access to private classes that we'll be doing next year. First one's in April. That registration will open up actually roughly around the time that this video is coming out. But anyway, that stuff at Patreon. Check that out. The other way is real estate. If you want to buy, sell houses, things like that. Not recreational land to shoot on. It's not that you can't do it. It's that I can't seem to get interested in helping you do it. That is a great way that you can support us. Just go to 1911syndicate.com. We got merch on there, all that kind of stuff. All right, let's jump back into the red dot. Start kind of wrapping this up. So here's the...
We're going that camera.
Probably... Oh, yeah, hello.
Yep.
So here's probably the main problem that I have with this, okay? And I can't find an answer definitively on this, but every single morning since I've had this mounted on my carry gun, because it's my carry gun, I spend a lot of time on this.
Sure.
And I have found a quirky thing, which is every morning when I wake up and I grab my carry gun and load it, my dot's off.
Well, that's not good.
Well, that's not good. And so but it's consistent every single morning. Sometime between the time I go to sleep and the time I wake up, my dot goes off. Now, part of you go, oh, is this like a shake awake thing like Hollow Sun? Which I actually recently observed. I literally woke up and my bedside gun was on the bedside table.
So you can see if it works?
No, I moved in bed and out of my peripheral vision, I saw the green pop back on.
You're lying.
No, I did. I actually saw the shake awake thing just from vibrations of something not even attached to the bed, and I saw it came back on. I was like, that's cool as shit.
Huh.
I was like, wow, props on you.
I
Anyway,
always try to sneak up on mine, but
but you can't. But I had this magical moment in the morning. But anyway, so every morning the dot is off, and I have to turn it on. Now, the problem I have with that is, hey, look, if you are, I don't know at what point every night this dot turns off. So I don't know where my threshold is. And the thing is, there's nothing in the instruction manual or anywhere that I can find that tells me, hey, if you, like, it auto shuts off at 18 hours or 24 hours or whatever. Like, I can't find anything that suggests that that's a thing, which tells me, hey, that seems to imply, even though it's very consistent in when it happens, it seems to imply there's something that's off there in the circuitry or something like that.
Yeah.
I don't know that to be the case, but again, I read the instruction manual and everything, and it's like there's nothing telling me that this thing shuts off at 20 hours every day.
Huh.
But it's like, again, if you were going to, which is, to be honest with you guys, between the brightness not being quite there and that shut off thing that I'm having, is why I'm saying, hey, look, I can't get behind this as a carry dot or a duty use thing.
Sure.
I can get behind it as I'm looking at getting into red dots, maybe a place I can get started without breaking the bank. Great place to start, right? Like, I'm going to the range, cool. Who cares? Like, not a big deal, right? Like, you're not depending your life on it. Depending your life on it, I would like to see a couple refinements before I will, go there with it.
For sure.
I would tell you this though. The dot itself is clean. It's actually a very clean, crisp dot.
Even with astigmatism, dude.
Yeah, and it doesn't, there's this thing called like refresh rate. And on like the Springfield Hex and like some of the Shield ones, to me, they get very streaky, right? Like if you take the pistol and you do this, right? You do big motions, you'll see that thing just streaking and it's just trying to keep up, right? And it has to do, I think, with the refresh rate is how the system works. This doesn't have that. It's actually very clean. So like, there's some really good things going on here. I would take it certainly over that Springfield Hex piece of shit, and probably the Shield ones too. I guess we're not getting any Springfields for review.
No, they're not gonna mess with us. That's okay.
But anyway, but that's that. So I would say this: there's some refinement that I would like to see. I think it is in the category of good for what it is. And you need to understand what it is and what it isn't and judge it accordingly.
There you go.
That's my opinion.
I agree.
Cool.
I don't have anything else to add other than our boys over at FLP, Firearms Legal Protection. Concealed carry insurance, guys. You carry a gun, get insurance, okay? They have a couple different tiers, entry level, mid, high tier, right?
If you just want to be covered in your state or all the states, like that's kind of the main thing.
That's kind of how, and then the top tier covers you in all 50 states as long as it's legally owned and justified, as well as your spouse.
Yeah.
So that's the one I get because I travel a ton and I'd like my wife to be able to be covered also. So you don't have anyone that you love, so
I need that mid-tier. I need that mid-tier life. It's like $22 a month. You just put the links down in the bio in the video description, but you just plug in 1911, it'll knock like about a third off of the subscription rates, and it's actually good to see. A bunch of you guys have actually gotten that recently, which good on you.
They told us the number, and it's actually an impressive number. Good so we appreciate you guys.
You guys are getting behind it, so good for you guys. Anyway, go ahead and wrap this thing up.
Yeah, thank you guys. We'll see you next time, and have a good rest of your day.
Okay.